Welcome back, guys. Today,
What's up? What? Go ahead. Continue. Yeah. Go ahead.
all right. Welcome.
What's up? All right. For real this time. For real. Put that down. Put your mic down. Don't you do it.
All right. Well, what's up?
Now it's not cool no more. Cool kid's already done it. Go ahead. Wow, this ain't that hard.
All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today's topic is about mass manipulation. It's pretty crazy stuff. Before we get into it, we actually just got some merch, HybridSun merch. We got some shirts, got some pics coming in. The shirts are the Black Hole edition. Make sure to check those out. They are not up on our website yet, but just private or personally text us, and we got multiple different sizes at a decent price. And yeah,
Yeah,
God.
private message the band.
Yeah, that sounds
Son of a bitch.
That sounds pretty freaking sweet. Anyway, we got a couple shows coming up. They're both going to take place at the Blue Note in OKC. The first show will be the 27th of August, and we're going to be playing with Death Sentence. Come out. It's going to be fantastic. The next one is going to be September 11th, which is also going to be with Death Sentence, but also Depraved. Make sure you're there.
This is going to be a really good show, guys.
What's up?
Come join us on both of them. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Okay, so by the way, stick around through this video. We've got a really important topic that we've really been wanting to talk about this for a while. It's very relevant to things that are going on today. So, anyways, stick around for the code word, and you'll win the package of merchandise. Get a free t-shirt and get a free package of HybridSun picks. Stick around. If you catch the code word in the video, be the first one to like and comment the code word and share the video, and you will get the package.
Subscribe.
Yes, and please subscribe to our channel. We're doing our very best to release some really good content for everybody, and we hope it's really entertaining and informative. Something to go over what's currently occurring is the use and abuse of people's personal information collected or harvested from people through technology. We willfully hand over data to all these large companies, and most often than not, we agree to allow these companies to share this data. Now, I hope we all know that by now that's a thing, but what we may not be thinking about is how our information is being used. Besides marketing and things like, what we like to spend money on or what kind of shoes we like, that pops up through Facebook and Instagram, right? All the advertising. It's certainly used to manipulate how we think and perhaps what kind of information we shouldn't be seeing. Yeah, this is a big deal right now.
When you said that we sign up for all these things, a lot of people, they don't look at any terms and conditions of anything that they apply for.
Exactly. It's not very convenient.
No, it's just a waste. We see it as a waste of time. It's just something holding us back from our goal. Like, for instance, just a while ago, we were trying to download a camera, and
it's a very good example.
And no one went through the terms and conditions of this camera that we needed, but we needed it really bad to do this podcast, this one in specific. And it ended up not working, so we're shooting it on another device. Just as a reference to the scenario that can happen at any given time.
It's really funny, yeah, because it literally just happened to us.
Yes, exactly.
Not a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
And still weren't able to use it.
Yes. But yeah, in these terms and everything, they're 3 miles long. They're engineered, to they don't want you to read them. People don't want you to read that most of the time. Companies don't. That's why they make them 3 miles long. Luckily, some apps, I noticed, they'll tell you they want access to your camera. They want access to text messages and contacts and phone.
But still, you still got to comply to play.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want the thing,
bullshit.
You hit deny and it's like, okay, we're not going to install it.
Well, we'll keep this app on here until you decide otherwise.
Yeah.
Yep. Just waiting on you, buddy. That's what they say.
Yep.
Comply or no play. Any of y'all ever heard of Edward Bernays?
Nope.
Only today.
Only today?
Only today.
Yeah. He's actually the nephew of Sigmund Freud.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was really cool when you were telling me about it.
Yep. Yeah, he's actually the one that pioneered all this mass manipulation and propaganda. He literally designed these techniques that are used against us 70, 80 years ago. Back in 1930. So, yeah, what's that term I need? He came up with the term group psychology, which is basically the study of what groups, or of how people get into groups. Back in ancient times, we did it for survival, but now we don't really need it for survival, so it can actually be used against us. And these groups are...
There's 4 major divisions for mass manipulation. There's politics, race, class, and gender.
And religion.
Yes, that's a big one for sure.
That's an important one.
So 5 major.
Are we also talking about hyper sociality?
Yes. Could you
Okay.
expand on that some?
Yes, I can't. Maybe here in a minute.
Okay, we get to that here in a minute. Okay, no problem. One of the things that Bernays said is, like, he described as a group, it's not only like a crowd of people, not just like a group of individuals. It's actually more of a state of mind. It's what he's saying is that a group doesn't necessarily have to be in the same room or in the same place to still be part of that same group. And that's where religion and all this comes into play. And especially social media takes advantage of this. They'll attack certain races in particularly things that are going on right now with the race riots and such. But religion also, they'll speak out to a certain religion, and they try to divide us through these means because smaller groups are easier to control than large masses.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I can't remember who said that. I didn't write it down, but I seen that earlier. But that's a good one. Yes, that's the truth. That's exactly what's going on.
Precisely.
So what would be the reasoning for wanting control of the masses? What do you guys think?
Oh wow.
That's pretty broad. Yeah.
You could probably
Yeah.
come up with several, but
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Honestly, when you're that high up in the playing field, you might just do it for fun, just to prove that you can. But that's obviously just power based, is what I would say.
So you think greed?
Yeah, money would have a lot to do with it. The power and the just to know that you can do that to people, that feeling that you get to be able to control.
Yeah, of course, and there's so much payoff because it's not just any one person, So, I mean, they're receiving something for it also, surely.
Yeah.
It's a product of greed.
There's a benefit. It's the way I see it is like it's like a business to them. They have to keep you controlled to keep their income coming.
Yeah.
To keep their standard of living and their way of life, they have to keep maintained. So we're like cattle, and they're herding us into smaller groups because just like working cattle, it's easier to handle smaller groups at a time. And that's what they do. They keep us divided, then we can't rise against.
It's the truth. Seems like more and more, people are waking up, which is good, but it's still very small.
Yeah, it's limited. And then again, like, you get labeled certain things if you try to, like, speak out against these things. You get labeled as a fake news guy or something such like that.
That's where the media manipulation comes into play.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you got these 5 major ways of division. You got politics, race, class, gender, and religion. But there's also small ones that also come into play. Such as the legalization of marijuana would be one. It could be.
Oh.
So, like, the use of, like, legal drugs. So, like, alcohol as a means of control,
Alcohol
maybe, too.
would be a good one, yeah.
Yeah, maybe tobacco. Because they've advertised to children for years on getting them hooked on tobacco.
Yeah, and, man, honestly, I have my own thoughts about that. That one, for me, would be a population control more than anything.
Ooh,
but that's just for me.
You think they're killing people off with not nicotine, but tobacco?
Yeah, that's just me though. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure. It's definitely a possibility.
There could be that. It also makes a lot of money, and it has since a long time ago.
And that's a really good point. Yeah,
it's always been a big moneymaker. I mean, and when you go back to when America started, tobacco was one of the primary cash crops. Yep. But still, now if you think about it that way, it's 2020. Why are we still using it? Well, for one, it's addictive, but it also makes us shitload of money. So,
yeah, anything that makes money is gonna stay.
Oh,
yeah. And it's pretty sad, man. That's just me.
Yeah,
though.
Truth be told, it is. It's ridiculous. Is there any certain ways that any of y'all have fell victim to this that you've became aware of recently? Something that's happened to you in any form
of, an instance of
manipulation,
the aha moment.
Yeah, that maybe
I just got fucked.
Maybe you woke up to it. You're like, wow, that's been happening to me for a long time, and I never really realized it.
I could say it happens every day.
Yeah.
At least in the marketing sense. I say something, and I get online and I see advertisements for something that I've never searched for in my browser, because at first you think that, oh, well, that's popping up because they have access to my browsing history. Now, if that's not scaring you, well, try not browsing something and remembering that you didn't ever look it up, but you said it. And I hear people tell me all the time, they're like, I noticed that. That's just freaky, though.
And, man, it comes so soon, too, like, you can say it, and I've said something, I've talked about something, and then 2 hours later, I've got on Facebook, and then ad after ad of that specific
protein cheese puffs.
Yeah.
I talk about protein and wanting to eat a whole barrel of cheese puffs, and then sure enough, boom, I get a barrel of protein cheese
Turns
puffs.
out they got them.
Yeah, they got it. They got what you want. Have you ever bought anything that is actually that you've talked about on your feed, and then it showed up on your feed, and then purchased it?
No.
I actually own a shirt that came up. I own a shirt right now that I have fell victim to this.
I almost did for shades a couple months back, but I don't think I've ever actually clicked on, an ad and bought something.
Never?
The problem is most of it, except for here recently, some boxing gloves. But that's mostly from my browser. Now Facebook, every ad is the gloves that I want.
Yeah.
Which I think that's cool. That's okay. At the same time, it's not, but I know I Googled it. Yeah. But anything else, like, a lot of times it takes weird stuff that it hears me say. And it's just like,
Yeah, it's creepy. That's stuff that you didn't search for, but it heard you say it, so it's taking advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. That's awful. And that is something you agreed to when you get the Facebook app.
Do this. get with a group of people or just be by yourself and just say some keywords, something that you'd never buy ever, but just say them out loud. Have a conversation with yourself or another person about this item or whatever it may be, and then start looking online or going through your Facebook feed or Instagram feed and see if you find it. It might surprise you.
Test it out.
Facebook's a good one. Like definitely pay attention to it.
Yeah, they do it real good.
Yeah.
Test it out. Send us your clips. Take little videos of it and send us your proof. It's fun. Might as well have a little bit of fun with it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's gonna happen to us, let's
let's embrace it.
let's at least make everybody aware. If you're not already, I mean, if you're not aware, then I just don't know how you're not aware of this. But there are people out there that
it's pretty common, and you know what's crazy is we're all okay with it. In some form, we're all just kind of accepting.
And that goes back to the manipulation thing. We're being
There we go.
kind of molded to the people that they want us to be.
Yeah.
We're being confined.
Poke a little bit.
We're willing to accept their control. It's almost like we believe the kind of control they have over us right now, and I say they, you can call them elites, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be. But the control that they have on us is control that you don't consider control.
It's been tested. It's tested, and they'll follow up with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. What was your can you expand on the drugs part a little bit?
Yeah. So my experience with marijuana is I didn't have a clear mindset, I didn't think much on it because I was doing it to have fun and relax, That being said, I know so many people that it's part of their daily routine. And did they legalize it to put people into a deeper state of sleep? Honestly, 100%, I believe that. What do you guys think?
In a way, yeah. It gives them something to be focused on, to keep them, get their eyes away from the real subject at hand, something that they should concern them.
Yeah.
For sure. I can see that.
And so what I decided on was my final answer to that was if you legalize something, makes it easier to obtain. Therefore, it puts people that use it in a comforting, exciting, and happy state of mind. Why look for answers when you're content?
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
Very well put.
It's makes it an easier way to deal with everyday life. Deal with this whole mindset that we are under. This whole mind manipulation. It makes it easier. They give us these little small exciting.
Yeah, it's like giving us a sedative when we're getting out of line. It's like we're all in a mental asylum, and they're like, "Oh, just ease up. It's all right."
Yeah. Here you go.
We're just gonna give you a minor sedative to make you relax.
Yeah, and there's thousands of those little small details. There's thousands of different little subjects, and marijuana is just one of them. I feel like.
Sure, it's a good one. I mean, but people really pushed for it. But I would say, like, it's a benefit. If the elitists or the lead, I call them the lead, the people establishing the narrative, establishing the rhetoric, and creating the nation state. That's like a benefit. Like, okay, they want marijuana legalized. Okay, that's going to take a lot of work, but you know what? That might give us an edge in power. And it'll create a lot of revenue because it has, and it will.
Oh, yeah.
So there's two pluses there. And you have happy citizens. You have people that are like, yes, okay, great. What have our most recent presidential candidates been saying? if you elect me, we'll legalize marijuana federally. You know, all that. Because it's a big sell.
Yeah, they're adhering to the public wants.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, man, the day we're in.
So, what actually defines this manipulation? So it's propaganda, right?
Yeah.
That would be the term for it. The type of manipulation that we're speaking of.
Yeah. Cyberspace propaganda.
Who decides which side or which group decides what's propaganda? Which religion, which race, which gender, the ways we're divided, who decides what's actually propaganda? Now, here's an interesting thing. Say I'm on one side of the religion, and I tell you, and I say something on the media, and you're on the other side. You would claim that's propaganda. That's trying to manipulate the masses to my point of view. But all I said was what I believe this truth is.
This brings me to the concept, or this brings me to confirmation bias.
Yeah?
Yes. Any slight evidence, new evidence being, when I say slight, that means like new evidence. Whenever you get new evidence, I think, at least from the definition, from what I've studied of it, is when they say new evidence, it's unevaluated evidence, untested evidence. But confirmation bias is when someone takes new evidence and just runs with it because it corroborates their
beliefs
and
Yep.
their theories. So I would say what we're seeing a lot today is people get, it's like a knee jerk reaction. When people get a little bit of evidence that their beliefs and their theory on a certain subject
is the correct one.
they take it and they run with it, just like you're saying. Just like, so with some propaganda, let's say this establishment here releases something, and this organization, group of people, tribe,
And this is
takes it,
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and
Sorry,
and they
Edmund.
take it as propaganda, almost, because they're canceling it because this actually fits in with this organization over here in there, I guess. And it's almost like the opposite of confirmation bias, but not the opposite, but it's just like almost taking, well, this new evidence is immediately wrong and not accepted and canceled because it goes against my beliefs and theories, right? So I don't know what the antonym of confirmation bias would be.
Anti-confirmation bias.
Anti-confirmation bias. There you go.
Here,
But yeah,
I
go
got
ahead.
something I can kind of expand on this a little bit. So, basically, what I told you is that we were two different religions, and that we are arguing two different points of view. Now, from my point of view, whatever you say would be propaganda. That's the lie, and that is how the powers that be divide you. Once you're in small groups and you are committed to that group, you have a firm stance, and it is almost impossible to break that firm stance. It takes a very strong person to look inside themselves and to actually accept and listen to another party that is actually against them. That's why religions have been at each other for as long as we can remember. Because once you're affiliated with a group, you stand by that group, and that's the whole thinking behind group psychology. Is they want to get you away from all your peers. They want to separate you from your peers so that you can be controlled in smaller and smaller groups. And the more they can divide you, the more they can control you. So that is the point, is that people actually do need to come together and they actually. But this is one of the hardest things. Edward Bernays, the nephew of Sigmund Freud, is the one who said this. Once you become part of that group, it's almost impossible to break free. You have found your comfort zone, if you will. You're comfortable with that particular group.
Do whatever it takes to stand behind that group, and that's where division comes in.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. Like when two groups come together, they will claim that each other are spitting propaganda. Yep. Anything that the media says, that's propaganda, that's fake news.
And that's why we're never going to get anywhere until we can break free of that.
They have to listen to each other. Both groups have to actually make amends. They don't have to agree necessarily, but they have to hear each other out, and they have to work together if they do want to actually stop this manipulation. Yep, that's the truth of it.
It's sad.
Yeah. It is not sufficient to understand only the mechanical structure of society, the groupings and cleavages and loyalties. An engineer may know all about cylinders and pistons of a locomotive, but unless he knows how steam behaves under pressure, he cannot make his engine run. Human desires are the steam which makes a social machine work.
That's good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
Thank you, Sean.
It is what it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's interesting. That goes along right along with what I'm ready to get into here is I listened to a lecture from Roger Bradbury, Professor Roger Bradbury, and so this story needs to work, and I'll explain to you. So,
What?
I think you got something to mention.
Oh, by the way,
It
the
is
password, the code word is distracted. So if you've made it this far, distracted. Like, comment, share.
Subscribe.
Distracted. Yes, subscribe, please. And thank you. So,
Back to the show.
yes. So I did my best to listen to this lecture and take the best notes that I could. I was listening to a lecture from, again, Roger Bradbury, a professor. He's from Australia, actually, and he was doing a lecture with a conference / it was a large scale lecture with the College of National Security in Australia. And so, again, I'll do my best here. Some of this is quoted from him, and some of this is my own note-taking and kind of explanation of some of the words and phrases that he used to kind of shorten this up. So, cyberspace is an authentic new domain of human activity. It breaks the divide between the elite and the story. Okay, so the story being the reasoning, truthful or not, that is used to convince society to go along with whatever it may be that is being proposed, whatever the rhetoric is, whatever the story is. It just depending on the time, whatever the movement is at the time. So anyways, the story is used to create this hypersociality to approve and allow the movement being made to work. So it requires compliance from the people for the nation state to make its move. So the emergence of cyberspace has broken the traditional model of an elite capture. The elite capture, again, being the elitists, the leads rhetoric. Because now any group of any size can create their own rhetoric, their own story, and they can close them off by confirmation bias, which is the tendency to take any new evidence, whether it's been confirmed or corroborated, as confirmation of one's theories or beliefs, which we've been over. Because humans are not reasonable. Now, any one group can have their own authorized and agreed upon Bible, so to speak. So here, Professor Bradbury, from what I gather, thinks that perhaps we're not in a good or bad time as far as our concern with the internet or online world goes. That it's only a transition from the age of enlightenment, which if you're familiar with that, you'll kind of know what he's saying here and what I'm saying. That was much more isolated in the world. It came from a specific place, which the era of enlightenment was kind of it's an Eastern ideal, right? So to this new age of cyberspace, which is accessible to any and also everyone, so to speak. But consider though that I think the dominant, illuminated, and much more equipped elite groups, a lot of people like to say they.
They.
Yeah,
I like they.
They've done it.
The dark state.
Yeah. I think the dominant, illuminated, and much more equipped elite groups in society that have the pull within the story of the nation state are in fact now using this cyberspace to manipulate us. This is a very real thing, and I think we're seeing it in full scale right now within the last 5 months.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so more this year than ever before.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Has it been
Maybe,
a constant trend upward, or just like boom out of nowhere?
it's been building because
I would say
we're
so
not.
too.
I bet. I don't know because
It's been building, man. I would back that
Yeah.
up because it's been a constant trend. Things you hear more and more
yeah, it's
Forgive
not
me for
new. It's
stupid
certainly
shit.
not new.
every day, and every year it just progressively keeps getting more and more out there. The crazy stuff you hear, it's like getting to a point where it's all normal. Honestly, we're desensitized to most of the chaos around us.
That's the point.
I
Yeah.
know, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
But don't fall for it.
Yeah, seriously. We've got to do something.
We're getting there slowly. Getting the word out is the first step of the process.
It was way better than what it was 2 or 3 years ago, 100%, as
Yeah.
in people starting to wake
As
up
in the
and
numbers.
realizing what's going on in
Yeah.
the world. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, definitely.
I think one side effect that is caused from mass manipulation is depression. What do you guys think about that? Like, can you see that?
Oh yeah,
can.
we're just a bunch of depressed
Certainly.
zombies walking around
Yes.
here. Everybody's on medication, and if they don't have medication for it, what do? They like strive or go get fast food, fill that void, that emptiness inside.
Yeah. All the
That's
sugar.
That's a whole different subject.
It is true. They're
It
not.
is.
We are. That's another subject. They're not seeking themselves. You have to look inward and help those around you to make the world a better place. But again, that's a subject for another time. But yes, that definitely goes along with it.
We will expand on this. Certainly, we will expand on this because that is a really good point.
Yes, this is just the beginning, everybody. This is just the beginning.
The majority of depression people have are from not knowing who they are. That being said, a lot of the time it is very obvious, even if you haven't been told by that specific individual. It just takes analyzing that specific person to realize it. They know something is wrong, but they don't understand it. And I believe it is because we are all trapped in the same reality that was bestowed upon us at the birth. This reality and the image of the world we live in is made up of a reality by the same individuals that run the world today, same people that control the masses.
Oh my gosh, we were born into it.
Exactly.
Well, it's been going on.
It's like raising cattle.
Before
again.
that, it's exactly that is.
We are
what
the
it is.
calves, the veal.
Yeah.
That's definitely, and that's spot on, man. That's exactly what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
in the plainest words possible, straightforward put, that is exactly what's going on, and it's about time people, know the truth.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely well said.
Wow.
Great
Yeah,
way to end
that
it,
was
by the way. That's
very,
great. That's
very good.
Yeah.
That hits really hard.
It hits right there in the
honestly does,
chest,
because
man.
First, yes, the depression, the anxiety, it's building. It's not natural. I mean, this sensory overload is what this is. I mean, we've got just
we have all these
stuff
different things to worry about. We have so many things to worry about. We don't have time to understand, and we don't have time to take in what is going on in the real world, because we have all these other things we are worried about every single day, consistently, day after day.
distracted.
When does it stop? You gotta wake up.
You shouldn't have said that again. But yes, 100%. Yeah, it is time for people to wake up.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Just anyways, I guess maybe something to take away from this, just pay attention to your normal day. Okay? Don't buy into all this bullshit that's getting fed to us right now, all this crazy political nonsense, all this, oh my gosh.
Politics is
Just-
one of the 5 major.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make it
The
into
groupings.
Yes.
It's one of the 5
Yes.
major ways they divide you. So just, be friendly to one another and stop dividing yourselves, and at least hear people out. You need to come to
see
an
both
agreement, come to an
perspectives,
understanding.
Make sure they see your side and you see their side. Come to a compromise.
There you go. Yeah. Just focus on your day. Get up in the morning, eat your breakfast, get your exercise, clean your house, go to work, do your thing. Don't buy into all this stuff. Don't waste your time. But
Focus on building a better you. Stick to your routine.
this is about us. This is about you. We're as individuals and as a society, worry about each other. Don't worry about all this bullshit.
Because they want you to you to feed it. That's the whole mind fuck of it, the mind fuckery of it all. Sorry for cussing, but they want you to be so caught up in it, and me, I'm guilty of it. I get caught up in it all the time, and I just gotta remember, let it pass, don't worry about it.
Yep.
It's hard. It's really hard not to when you're getting it shoved in your face, because most people are checking Facebook every single day, and there's nothing but politics going on.
Yeah.
And racial wars, and
it's not the place to get it, and we don't want to be oblivious to everything, so we do need to pay attention, but just learn to recognize the distractions, learn to recognize the things that are just trying to
divide us.
yeah
Take everything in moderation. Everything.
Yeah.
And think on things before you react to them. Make sure it's well thought through. Look at it from multiple angles. Listen to multiple people's perspective before you make a decision for yourself.
Do your own research.
Just think before you speak. Just think on it and make sure your conclusion is the correct one.
Yep. Well said, man.
Yeah.
indeed
Sure.
Indeed.
Is that it? You guys got any more?
I think that's enough for today. I think we're over our time limit anyway.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed, and this will be a series, so stay tuned to this series. This was episode 1 of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your guys' day.
Please stick around. We'll expand on this subject some more, and we'll try to stay up to date with what's going on. And yeah, let's be thinking about this stuff.
If you
Seriously.
enjoyed this video or found it informative, please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it.
Very much.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Adios.